Scientists are explorers, philosophers are tourists. I learned very early the difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something. To not know math is a severe limitation to understanding the world. Nobody ever figures out what life is all about, and it doesn't matter. Explore the world. Nearly everything is really interesting if you go into it deeply enough. Teach principles, not formulas. I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. You have no responsibility to live up to what other people think you ought to accomplish. I have no responsibility to be like they expect me to be. It's their mistake, not my failing. A universe of atoms, an atom in the universe. What I cannot create, I do not understand. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Study hard what interests you the most in the most undisciplined, irreverent, and original manner possible. I was born not knowing and have had only a little time to change that here and there. There is no learning without having to pose a question, and a question requires doubt. Know how to solve every problem that has been solved. Nature has a great simplicity, and therefore a great beauty. We need to teach how doubt is not to be feared but welcomed. It's okay to say, I don't know. I love only nature, and I hate mathematicians. Fall in love with some activity, and do it. Nobody ever figures out what life is all about, and it doesn't matter. If you thought that science was certain, well, that is just an error on your part. Physics isn't the most important thing, love is. I wonder why, I wonder why, I wonder why I wonder. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers, which might be wrong. Religion is a culture of faith, science is a culture of doubt. The only way to deep happiness is to do something you love to the best of your ability. Physics is like sex, sure, it may give some practical results, but that's not why we do it. Einstein was a giant, his head was in the clouds, but his feet were on the ground, but those of us who are not that tall have to choose. Do not read so much, look about you, and think of what you see there. If you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't understand quantum mechanics. The exception tests the rule. Tell your son to stop trying to fill your head with science, for to fill your heart with love is enough. Experiment is the sole judge of the validity of any idea. The world is a dynamic mess of jiggling things. People who wish to analyze nature without using mathematics must settle for a reduced understanding. The highest forms of understanding he can achieve are laughter and human compassion. If all of mathematics disappeared, physics would be set back by exactly 1 week. Mathematics is a language plus reasoning. It is like a language plus logic. Mathematics is a tool for reasoning. For a successful technology, reality must take precedence over public relations, for nature cannot be fooled. It's amazing how many people even today use a computer to do something you can do with a pencil and paper in less time. The electron is a theory we use. It is so useful in understanding the way nature works that we can almost call it real. There is enough energy in a single cubic meter of space to boil all the oceans in the world. Outside of their particular area of expertise, scientists are just as dumb as the next person. Science is what we have learned about how to keep from fooling ourselves. But logic is not all. One needs one's heart to follow an idea. Of course, you only live one life, and you make all your mistakes, and learn what not to do, and that's the end of you. You can always recognize truth by its beauty and simplicity. Turbulence is the most important unsolved problem of classical physics. Thank you very much. I enjoyed myself. Our imagination is stretched to the utmost, not, as in fiction, to imagine things which are not really there, but just to comprehend those things which are there. I don't know what's the matter with people. They don't learn by understanding, they learn by some other way, by rote or something. Their knowledge is so fragile. There's plenty of room at the bottom. But see that the imagination of nature is far, far greater than the imagination of man. The easiest person to fool is yourself. I think nature's imagination is so much greater than man's, she's never going to let us relax. You see, I get so much fun out of thinking that I don't want to destroy this pleasant machine, that makes life such a big kick. Since then I never pay attention to anything by experts, I calculate everything myself. We have found it of paramount importance that in order to progress, we must recognize our ignorance and leave room for doubt. All theoretical chemistry is really physics, and all theoretical chemists know it. Never confuse education with intelligence. You can have a PhD and still be an idiot. Precise language is not the problem, clear language is the problem. A philosopher once said, "It is necessary for the very existence of science that the same conditions always produce the same results." Well, they don't. The electron is a theory, but the theory is so good we can almost consider them real. Energy is a very subtle concept, it is very, very difficult to get right. For those who want some proof that physicists are human, the proof is in the idiocy of all the different units which they use for measuring energy. It is scientific only to say what is more likely and what less likely, and not to be proving all the time the possible and impossible.